Hey there, so today we are going to cover how to start scraping the data with Scrapy, and those data points that we are going to collect is going to be, first one, it's going to be this one, so the header, and the second one is going to be this list of top 10 tags. The data that it's going to be scraped from is quotes.toscrape.com. Let's begin right away. Let's open our terminal, maximize the window once again, and zoom it in a little bit to something like this. So the first thing, of course, is Scrapy, and the best really way to figure out how to extract the data with Scrapy is trying it with Scrapy Shell. Scrapy Shell is built upon IPython, so it has magic functions, autocomplete, etc. So the command is located here. So if we type in just Scrapy and then shell, so let's copy and paste this, hit enter, you will see a bunch of different outputs. You don't need to worry about all of this stuff for the beginning. It just has the bunch of info, really, messages and debug messages that just prints out different middlewares, the extensions that are enabled by default and overridden settings, etc. The most important thing that you need to know as of right now is that you should use previously discussed fetch function to actually fetch the URL. So to do that, you type in fetch and then open and close parentheses, and then either in single or double quotes, you should here input the URL to the site that you would like to open with Scrapy. So let's copy and paste this URL to our terminal. So paste it in here and hit enter. Now here we got two different rows of data, and the first one is just the date and the time that the message was sent, and that info message is that Spider is opened, and then the second one is that debug message and that it's crawled. So this 200 and parentheses indicates that response is successful. Most of you know that 404 would be returned probably if page was not found, 301 if it's redirected, etc. So as long as it's either on 200 or 300, we are pretty much good to go. And as you can see, this is the URL that we specified. So let's go back to the site. And the way that you normally scrape the data or inspect actually source code is by right-click and either going into the source code, so view page source, or you can just go to the element that you would like to scrape, which in our case is going to be this one, right-click and then click here, inspect. You will get here the elements, and here you will see that as I'm hovering over the H1 and then a HTML node, that we get different highlighters, as you can see. So headers are mostly located in the H1 tag, and Scrapy offers the response. So either you will see in Scrapy either response or, sorry, I can't type it in. So you will either see response or request. Response will be pretty much, as the name indicates, really response that is going to be returned. So in this case, we have 200 as a successful one, and then the URL to the really the response. The request is for requesting the URLs and figuring out the form requests, etc. That will be covered a little bit later on. So response is going to offer for selecting data either XPath or CSS selectors. Let's cover briefly CSS selectors. So to select this header right now, so this data point that I'm highlighting right now, or this container really, which contains H1, and then here we have a tag. We type in here response.css and then open and close parentheses, and either in single or double quotes, we can type in just H1. Hit enter and you will see that selector is found and that XPath is going to be pretty much the HTML node that I'm highlighting right now. So to actually get to the text, you can type in pretty much this, and you will see the h1 text is found in two instances. And let's, for example, concentrate first on the XPath because it will probably be easier. So the call to it, it's fairly simple. It's probably best to use actually XPaths, not CSS. At least in my experience, they are more robust, and really writing more advanced selectors would be probably a lot more easier with the XPaths than CSS. And also CSS selectors actually gets transformed into the XPaths before it's printed out. So if we just printed out response.xpath and then h1, you will see that we will get error, or really just an empty list, which is even worse in our case. So to actually get to all of the instances of the h1 tag, we type in just the double slashes and then hit enter. And as you will see, this pretty much data point here located or selector corresponds to this one. So when we type in response.css h1, so in our XPaths, the way that you go into the a tag, for example, so currently we are in this HTML node, we would like to get to this text. So the way that we actually do this is by going into this a tag, and then we would like to extract just the text. So let's navigate to the terminal and type in once again slash and then a. So this will go into every instance of the h1 tag, and then if found, it will go into a tag. Hit enter, and you will see that XPath is different here, and also the data that it's going to be returned is different one. So previously we were in h1 tag. Right now we are in our a tag, as you can see. So we successfully gone into a tag, and what we would like to do that, or really what we would like to extract once again, is just the text. So the way that you actually get to the text is by once again typing in slash text and then open and close parentheses, hit enter, and you will see that right now data is equal to the quotes to scrape, which corresponds pretty much to this section in the HTML node. To get rid of selectors and XPaths, we type in .extract, open and close parentheses, hit enter, and you will see that we just get the list itself. The U stands for obviously Unicode, and we get quotes to scrape. Now, if we want to get just the string and not this list, we type in extract underscore first. Hit enter, and you will see right now it's actually in the single quotes and it's in the form of a string. So that's how you scrape the first data point. How you actually scrape the second data point is going to be a bit trickier, but it's fairly simple. So we would like to extract all of the different tags right now from the right side of the page. So we go either once again by view page source, which will take some time to figure out where exactly these tags are, or we go to the first instance of the tag and then click inspect. And we will see here that the format is different than here, obviously, so we don't get any h1 tags or stuff like that. We get span, and then in that span we have class with the value tag item, and then we have the very next, let's say, sibling HTML node is a tag with the class tag, and then we have the href, which goes to the different page, and then we have the text, which reads love, which is our first tag really that we would like to get. So there are really numerous ways of getting to the data. The one that we will use is pretty simple. So we are going to isolate pretty much every class that has tag in it or the value tag in it, and then we will just scrape text. Pretty simple, right? To do that, let's go to the terminal and then type in response.xpath, open and close parentheses, and then in single quotes, we will find every instance of the class. So the way that you do that is by typing in double slashes, asterisks, and then in the parentheses, square or square brackets, you will type in the monkey sign and then the class. And then you will type in here just the empty value. So this is actually the way that you write the class expat selector. The logic changes, for example, if you would like to just select the ID with some value, you would type in this. So it's fairly customizable and also fairly simple. So we type in class, and the class that we are looking for has the value tag, as you can see from here. So let's type this here and hit enter. So we get a bunch of different tags, which pretty much doesn't correspond to the data points that we would like to get. So as you can see here we have 10 different classes, or tags, sorry. And here we have probably 50 or so different selectors that are returned. So this is no good. So the way that you further isolate this is by going into the, for example, or trying in the class which has tag item, which is probably going to be a lot more easier to get at. So the reason why you get the different A tags is because if we go here, you will see that the selector, or really HTML node, is going to be pretty much the same. So we still have the A class, and then in the class we have the tag as a value. So this selector that we wrote pretty much goes into entire page and scrape all of these different tags, which we would not actually like to get. We would only want to get these first 10 data points. So to fix this, we type in our new expat selector. So we go to the inspect, and then we go to the one HTML node above, and we see here that we currently are selecting span with the class, and that class has the value tag item. Let's copy and paste this into our terminal. So we are going to select every class which has tag item in it, hit enter, and you will see here we have a lot less really data points or selectors in our case. So let's calculate length of this, and it should be 10. So let's see, length is 10, which is perfect. So the second thing that we need to do is further isolate or get to the text. So currently we are selecting 10 instances of the tag items. So here they are online or in Chrome. And what we need to do is go into each and every one and go to the A tag and then scrape the text. So pretty simple, or really similar to the first data point that we collected here from the header. So how we actually go into the very next HTML node, which is in our case A, is going to be the same as with scraping the first data point. So we type in slash, then A, and hit enter, and you will see that selector actually changed. And then what we want to do, if we are into A tag, we want to just select the text from each and every A tag. So to do that, of course, we go in and type in once again the slash, text, open and close parentheses, hit enter, and you will see here our data is a lot more cleaner, and we can't actually call in, like last time, extract first to get just the data itself, because this will only select the or the first one really. So what you need to do is just call in extract, open and close parentheses, hit enter, and you will see it's in a form of a list. So hopefully this wasn't hard. In the next section, I believe we are going to cover how to actually write simple and more advanced expats, but you have a lot more details online on how to actually do this. And if you have any questions, how to extract any data points, or if something was confusing, you have a Q&A here, so you can try it out, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible with the answer. Talk to you in the very next video.